Hey, what's going on? Thanks for booking the call with Busyvdad Coaching. I just want to show you what the trophy method is really about and what you can accomplish by implementing this in your life. This is my client, Rob. We're going to go over his case study real quick. He's 42 years young, has kids, busy schedule, travels all the time, has a side business, yet he's competing at his first bodybuilding show. Now, I know a lot of you may not want to compete Now, I know you may not want to compete in a bodybuilding show. However, I just want to show you what's possible, right? So before he came to us, he was 236 pounds, inflamed, overweight, and now look at him, chiseled, diced, tanned, jacked, very handsome. So what did we do here, right? So Rob walked in at 236 pounds, high functioning dad, working demanding shift schedule, got 2 kids at home, and the kind of effort tolerance that made him good at everything except his own body. He'd been training for years. He had a good base, and he tried every diet and tried every supplement, but just wasn't working for him. He wanted to be sub 10% body fat. Okay. But the real problem was that he's tried everything and nothing fit really his biology, right? So what do? Most coaches see him 236 pounds with fat loss and they just cut the calories, pull the cardio lever, and add the steps and just kind of run the engine into the ground, right? Look, that works for a 22-year-old college kid, influencer, whatever it may be, but that does not work for a man with busy shift schedule, elevated cortisol, suboptimal hormones, and recovery system that's already running on fumes. So he didn't need more effort. What he needed was a sequence. And that's what we gave him. Effort was never his problem. I actually have to pull him back quite a bit. But he's been one of the most disciplined dads we've ever onboarded. What was missing was a protocol that respected his physiology in the right order, right? So hormones before recovery, then training, then nutrition. And then once we get the nutrition dialed in, then we start playing with the levers, right? So the sequence exists for a reason. Can't skip a step. So what was the protocol? This is the trophy method applied, right? We don't run on some generic template. We run on a 6-pillar sequence called trophy. Obviously, each pillar earns the next. And skipping a step does not just slow results, it'll break the system, all right? So what we start with, testosterone hormones. We got to stabilize the hormonal foundation first. Got him on TRT. His testosterone levels were in the tank. We got him on TRT before anything else. Clean signal, predictable recovery, repeatable training. That's the base where everything else is built on. Then we go into our resilience and recovery. Made sure he had recovered well. Got some magnesium glycinate on board, got a full custom supplement protocol with vitamin D, some sleep stack, and then we tracked his sleep at every check-in. We built in the recovery aspect foundation before we started any cut, okay? Because we got to see what the body's doing, make sure it's right before we add the stress. And then we optimize it. Training intensity, we progressively scale up, and then we stabilize all of his other recovery markers. And then by week 6, biofeedback report, no tendon pain, multiple PRs, no joint pain, feeling great. And we went into his performance nutrition, periodized his macros over 9 months, not just kept cutting calories because that'll run you into the ground. And we moved between 2750, 2230 and measured steps. And even in his bodybuilding show, he's in his cut right now, he's not under 2000 calories. We're relying on cardio to do the work. And it's not even that much. We're at 50 minutes a day. It's not terrible. He's not doing 2 hours of steady state cardio, but we're using food to enhance that recovery and protect his body. Then we go into the health span hypertrophy, right? So we have a nice, awesome hypertrophy program that protected him through an injury 9 weeks into the program. He tore his bicep, right? So we modulated the volume and we kept his strength up and we kept him going. And then we do repeat labs, track the body weight trends, track the gut health, biofeedback ratings. How's he performing subjectively at every variable we track weekly? And then I make the adjustments based on data, not feels. So what were the numbers? Here are the numbers. I'm not going to go over all of them because it's just nerd number stuff for me. But as you can see, every week or every few weeks, we adjusted his diet and we didn't keep cutting calories. We cut a little bit, then we added, then we cut based on his biofeedback. So we initiated the TRT, set the hormonal floor, established baseline biofeedback. We got recovery, green lights through and through and through. Then he got injured, scheduled an MRI, slight bicep tear, no surgery. We rehabbed around it. Then he has sub 230 milestone because he wasn't able to lose those last 6 pounds. And recomp, let's freaking go. Then we program maintenance phases, adjust cardio as needed based on biofeedback, and then we're rocking and rolling up until the show, right? This goes up to June 2025, but we've been still going rock and roll, and you can see how jacked he is in that first picture, right? So here's the inflection points, right? 3 decisions that define the arc. 1, he got injured, week 9. So if you don't have a good baseline and good program, it would have collapsed there. Hey, take a full break, sit on the couch, don't do anything. Nope. He flagged the early discomfort. We pulled him into a deload, modified the lifts, dropped and added a little bit of food while keeping the cardio steady and the MRI scheduled, kept training, kept tracking, structure, absorbed the disruption, I can talk, because the structure was built for it, right? Remember, we're doing systems over willpower. When your willpower fails, you fall back on your system. You're only as strong as your system. So then week 15, did a maintenance break after 14 weeks of cutting, which is a long cut, yes, but he was able to handle it with the TRT. The metabolism, the weight trends, was telling us to stop. So we programmed a nice long maintenance plan, slowly adding more food, climb the calories back up, drop the cardio. And a lot of clients don't like this. They refuse this because the scale does move in the wrong direction. You will gain a couple pounds. But if you refuse that, you're going to plateau and you're going to run out of a runway of food and cardio. You can only diet and do cardio for so much and so long. But he trusted the protocol. He came out of the break leaner, stronger, and metabolically primed for another cut. Yes, he was leaner because he refilled his glycogen stores. That recovery just fueled him even more. And then by week 24, we went into another cut, re-entered the deficit, dropped our intake down a little bit, and he's still not dropping, like I said, below 2,000 calories. We added some cardio, restored his metabolism, and this is the difference between a 12-week, just here's 2,000 calories, bunch of cardio, cut and run, and a multi-block engineered recomp based in science and his biology. So where is he now? He's competing in his first bodybuilding show, 42 years old. That's crazy. And it's not a closed case study. It's ongoing. He's competing here in a couple weeks. This video is being recorded on April 27th, 2026. So if you see this afterwards, after May, we'll see what happens with him. But the protocol below is what he's on right now. It's a calorie split that respects his training stress and recovery days. And he's leaner, stronger, more resilient than he's been since his 20s. The cut's engineered, the hormones are dialed, and the training's non-negotiable. And the system holds on the work stays. So check this out. The lift day, 2285 calories. That's a little bit higher intake on his training days. We prioritize the carbs around his workout session to fuel the performance and protects the muscle in the deficit. So the glycogen can do its work by fueling the muscles. And on the rest day, he's down to 2005 calories. We lower the intake when the training stress isn't there. And it drives the deficit without compromising his recovery. And so the weekly average is around 2165 and spread across a 4-day split with 3 days of rest, and it's sustainable, trackable, and built for his busy schedule. So this is why the split matters, because anyone can chat GPT a workout plan, which is fine, but it's not the most optimal. So a flatline deficit where you just do 2,000 calories, let's say, flatline, and you keep cutting, keep pulling calories week after week. It ignores the reality that hard lift session and recovery day are not the same biological event. So lift days, calories fuel glycogen, training intensity, and muscle protein synthesis. But on rest days, the body doesn't really need that fuel as much. So the deficit kind of lives there. You lean into that deficit. We preserve the muscle, preserve performance, and the fat loss happens because that math averages out across the week, not within a single day, right? Remember, calories are a tool, not a punishment. So what does this mean for you? If you're a dad, first responder, entrepreneur, or shift worker, or just busy dude wanting to change your life, over 30, and you've already tried 75 hard, F45, Orange Theory, CrossFit, any diet, carnivore, keto, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, good grief, why? Or any 30-day shred, 12-week shred, 90-day program, and you went to a TRT clinic and they just peddled pills at you, said, here's 200 milligrams to test, good luck, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, called it a protocol. I'm guessing it didn't hold. And the problem isn't your effort, it's the order. Remember, hormones first, recovery second, training third, and then food fourth. Then we add in the cut once we have the system established. All right. So we track everything. And when the cut comes, it's engineered based on your biology, just like Rob's. It's not a flatline slash. And remember, he's not a genetic outlier. He's not 25. He's not a full-time bodybuilder with meal plans delivered to his door and a nap window and all that good stuff. He's a dad, and he's up early and up late and I think he coaches his girls' soccer teams, and he's doing life. But remember, the sequence held the line for 16 months we've been together while the protocol did the work. And most programs would have broken him at the 9-week injury, but this one didn't, because we had the structure in place. We had the system in place to absorb that disruption, because life just has a way of kicking you in the nuts every once in a while. It's going to happen. If it hasn't happened, it will. So if you've already burned through every shred plan, every clinic protocol, every influencer template, the issue isn't your willpower, it's the order. So remember, fix the sequence and the body responds always. And that's what we're here to do at Trophy Dad Fitness, is optimize your biology so you can hit those goals and live a long, healthy life, being engaged and present with your kids and grandkids. Looking forward to chatting with you.